You make roughly 35,000 decisions every single day. And according to decades of research by Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman, the overwhelming majority of those decisions are made by a part of your brain that operates on autopilot, is easily manipulated, and is riddled with systematic errors that you cannot even detect while they are happening. Welcome to Book Notes Daily. Today we are breaking down one of the most important books ever written about the human mind. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. In the next 10 minutes, you will discover the two systems fighting for control of your brain at every moment, why highly intelligent people fall for the same cognitive traps as everyone else, and the one insight buried deep in this book that completely changes how you understand your own confidence. Stay with us because the middle of this video contains a finding so counterintuitive it might genuinely change how you make decisions forever. Daniel Kahneman spent more than 4 decades studying human judgment and decision-making. Born in Tel Aviv in 1934, he built his career as a psychologist at Hebrew University of Jerusalem, later Princeton, and his most important work was done alongside his research partner Amos Tversky. Together they launched an entirely new field called behavioral economics. Their central discovery was devastatingly simple. Human beings are not rational. We like to believe we are, but we are not. We are predictably irrational in ways that follow consistent, measurable patterns. Kahneman published Thinking Fast and Slow in 2011, synthesizing a lifetime of research into a single, accessible framework. It became an instant bestseller, and 2 years later Kahneman received the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences, the only psychologist ever to win that award. The entire book rests on one foundational idea. Your brain operates using two distinct systems. Kahneman calls them System 1 and System 2. Understanding the difference between these two systems is the key to understanding almost every mistake, bias, and irrational behavior that humans consistently exhibit. System 1 is fast. It is automatic, intuitive, and emotional. It runs constantly in the background without any conscious effort from you. When you see a face and instantly recognize whether that person is happy or angry, that is System 1. When you swerve your car before you have consciously registered a hazard on the road, that is System 1. It is the part of your mind that completes the phrase bread and without even trying. System 1 is extraordinarily powerful and efficient. It handles the vast majority of your daily cognitive load, which is why you can walk and talk and drive and daydream all at the same time. System 2 is slow. It is deliberate, analytical, and effortful. When you work through a math problem, weigh the pros and cons of a major life decision, or focus hard on understanding a complex argument, you are using System 2. Here is the critical thing most people miss. System 2 is lazy. It requires energy and concentration, so your brain actively avoids using it whenever possible. Your mind defaults to System 1 constantly, even in situations where System 2 should be driving. This is where things get dangerous. Kahneman introduces a concept called cognitive ease. When information feels familiar, fluent, and easy to process, System 1 accepts it without question. When something feels difficult, System 2 gets activated. But here is what nobody talks about. Your brain interprets cognitive ease as truth. If something is repeated often enough, printed in a clear font, or rhymes slightly, you are measurably more likely to believe it. This is not a personality flaw. It is a feature of human cognition that applies to everyone, including experts. Now think about every advertisement you have ever seen, every political slogan, every piece of misinformation that spreads rapidly online. They all leverage cognitive ease deliberately. Simple, repeated, emotionally resonant messages feel true to System 1. Before System 2 ever gets a chance to evaluate them. One of the most powerful concepts in the book is what Kahneman calls heuristics and biases. Heuristics are mental shortcuts your brain uses to make quick judgments. They are not mistakes in themselves. They are efficiency tools. But they come with systematic errors baked in, and those errors are called biases. The anchoring effect is one of the most well-documented and startling. In a famous experiment, participants were asked to spin a wheel rigged to land on either 10 or 65, then estimate the percentage of African countries in the United Nations. The wheel had absolutely nothing to do with the question. And yet the group that landed on 65 gave dramatically higher estimates than the group that landed on 10. An arbitrary number they knew was random still hijacked their judgment. This happens in salary negotiations, real estate pricing, legal sentencing, and medical diagnosis every single day. The availability heuristic is equally powerful. Your brain estimates the likelihood of something based on how easily examples come to mind. After a plane crash dominates the news cycle, people dramatically overestimate the danger of flying while continuing to underestimate the risk of driving, which statistically kills far more people. Fear is not calibrated to reality. It is calibrated to memory. What you can remember vividly, you believe is common. What you cannot recall easily, you assume is rare. Then there is the representativeness heuristic. Kahneman describes a character named Linda. She is 31 years old, single, outspoken, and very bright. She studied philosophy and was deeply concerned with issues of discrimination and social justice in college. Now the question is asked: which is more probable? That Linda is a bank teller, or that Linda is a bank teller who was active in the feminist movement? When thousands of people are asked this question, the majority choose the second option. But that is logically impossible. The probability of two things being true simultaneously can never exceed the probability of either one alone. System 1 matches the description to a stereotype so quickly and convincingly that System 2 never bothers to do the math. Let us talk about what Kahneman calls the planning fallacy, because this one affects nearly every project, business, and personal goal you will ever pursue. Humans are profoundly optimistic about future timelines and budgets. The Sydney Opera House was projected to cost $7 million and be completed in 4 years. The actual cost was $102 million and it took 16 years. This is not an anomaly. Studies across construction, software development, and personal projects show that people routinely underestimate time and cost by massive margins. The reason is that System 1 imagines the best-case scenario and presents it as the plan. System 2 would require you to examine base rates, historical data, and consider what went wrong in similar situations before. Most of the time, we never ask System 2 to do that work. Here is something that cuts even deeper. Kahneman introduces the difference between the experiencing self and the remembering self, and this insight reshapes everything you thought you knew about happiness and satisfaction. The experiencing self lives in the present moment, feeling everything in real time. The remembering self constructs a story about what happened after the fact. And the crucial finding is this: we do not make decisions based on what we actually experienced. We make decisions based on what we remember. And our memories follow two simple rules: the peak moment and the ending. Everything in between gets averaged away. In a medical study, patients undergoing a painful procedure who had a longer procedure with a slightly less painful ending remembered the whole experience as less bad than patients who had a shorter procedure that ended at peak pain. Objectively, the first group experienced more total suffering. But they remembered less of it. Your remembering self is not an accurate recorder. It is a storyteller. And it is your storyteller, not your experiencer, that decides whether you will do something again, whether you will say you are happy, and whether you believe your life is going well. This distinction matters enormously in how we design vacations, careers, relationships, and life goals. Most people optimize for experiences that feel good in the moment while accidentally creating bad memories. Or they endure terrible processes hoping the outcome will redeem them in their memory. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Book Notes Daily for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.